Hey, so today I'm just going to go over a little bit about the different ways that you can get paid in your practice, from like cash-based versus insurance-based, or the combination of the two, and some of the pros and cons to both of them. So for cash-based practices, there's going to be kind of different ways you can do that, and of course cash-based being check, card, or cash that you're getting from your clients. So you can have your full fee private pay clients, which is you're setting your own rates, you're receiving those payments on the day of service directly from your client, maybe from a check, cash, card, or HSA account. You can also do sliding scale, and so this means you're setting your own scale and you're also still receiving that payment day of. I think there's a sliding scale video on here as well, but essentially clinicians use different sliding scales to be able to provide the same services that they would to other individuals but at a reduced fee. And then you can be an out-of-network provider with insurance companies, which is the same. They're paying you for services with cash, check, card, or HSA, but then you're providing them a super bill where they can get possible reimbursement, hopefully, from their insurance company at a later date. But on your end, same thing. You're still a cash-based practice. And then there's also like apps or kind of telehealth contractors like BetterHelp or American Well, Talkspace, MD Live, that would bring you on as a contractor, and then you would see clients, but you would still be based as a cash-based practice because they're giving you a check or a cut or a percentage from what you're contracting with them, or the work you're doing for them. And then insurance-based practices, that is going to be employee assistance programs and a network provider with insurance companies. So you're going to get paneled, you're going to collect insurance information from them, you're going to run it, you're going to kind of collect payment from the insurance company and from the client based on their explanation of benefits. And that's kind of like the combo approach of getting paid a little bit by the client based on their plan and then getting a check at a later date from the insurance company. And then, of course, most people who are insurance-based are also having some self-pay clients as well. And so you can have that combination approach as well. Some things to kind of ask yourself when figuring out which path is going to be best for you, or just kind of in that brainstorming space, is going to be kind of asking yourself questions such as like, are you going to see clients in the office? Are you going to see clients online? Maybe walk and talk or a hybrid approach of all of them. This is important to know because not all insurances cover telehealth and walk and talk sessions and so forth. So if you're wanting to do those sessions and have that flexibility, then also making sure you're getting paneled with insurance companies that allow for that. And then, of course, with cash-based, there's just not that overarching umbrella regulation over you. So cash-based or sliding scale may be a better fit for some of those if you are looking to do those more non-traditional realms of therapy. Also thinking about, does your population that you want to see have insurance? Do they want to use it? Do they have disposable income that they can spend on your services? Just kind of really, again, thinking about that ideal client and that niche that you're wanting to go into to see if there's certain things that fit with that, because that can just help, of course. Do also some things for you professionally. Do you like networking? Do you like being on social media or having kind of doing more marketing on your end? Because if you do, then cash-based practices are probably going to be your grind a little bit. You definitely have to do a little bit more marketing, or sometimes a bit more marketing and network on your end to get clients, because if you are listed with insurance panels, those are naturally a referral source for you. Thinking about, do you want, full control and autonomy of everything in your practice? Because if you do, that's going to be more cash-based, and allowing the insurance regulations to come in just takes a little bit of that autonomy out of there, but of course you still have autonomy of a lot of other things in your practice. And then trying to think, like, are you taking clients from your current practice or are you starting fresh? Because that could be some things to factor in there in regards to what, those clients are used to paying maybe at their old, your agency or whatever it may be, and insurance coverage and so forth. But just kind of doing a little bit more of like a private pay breakdown, and then we'll do an insurance breakdown. Some of the main benefits for private pay is that you're typically making more per hour. Of course, you're setting your rates, so that varies. You can typically see fewer people than if you're making more per hour to even out kind of your overall caseload. Paperwork is typically a little bit less hefty and a little bit easier just because you're not having to do all the initial paneling and paperwork in regards to getting credentialed with the insurance company, but also in regards to notes and things like that. There's just not as many specifics that you need to put in there to get coverage. You're also getting your immediate payment, meaning you have the service, you get the payment. You're not having to wait for the insurance company to approve and then get your payment at a later date. And some sites say that typically clients are more dedicated and follow through on treatment. I don't think that's like totally true, but I don't know. Maybe it is, but I think that really varies person to person, not so much based on their form of payment. Some cons though, it is highly suggested to like niche down a lot more. Definitely marketing is key. Growth is going to be a lot slower if you're private pay, and you really need to understand how to appropriately articulate your value, which is marketing and what the whole game of networking is, to be able to really get across the message of who your ideal client is and why you work with them best. Insurance side, definitely kind of wanting to research and plan before getting credentialed with insurance companies. You want to figure out if you want to do it by yourself or if you want to hire out. Of course, get credentialed, get an EHR, and learn how to track and file your claims, and then collect the payments, of course. But some benefits of insurance. Doctors are much more likely to refer to you just because they're very much in the medical world, tied up in the insurance, and so it's a lot easier for them to know, okay, I see whoever, they have Humana, you take Humana. If they're an ideal client for you, it can make for a lot easier referral. People expect to use their insurance. A lot of people do think of us as like medical professionals or in that realm, and so they just assume that they can use their insurance with us. And of course, well, hopefully it's a benefit for everyone, but of course it's a benefit for a lot of people, so we do want them to use their benefits to see us if we are in network with providers. And then there's really just a built-in referral network with insurance companies, and so when people need a doctor or need a therapist or need something like that, they call their insurance company, and then the insurance company is going to give their information give your information to them based on location and kind of how you have yourself listed with that specific insurance provider. Some cons, which I don't really think this is a con, but you need an EHR. That's just gonna make your life a bajillion times easier. But I don't really see that being a con because I think you should have an EHR anyways, because it just makes your life easier. You don't get paid right away, so of course you're not having the service getting payment right away. You are going to have to, of course, wait until the insurance files and approves your claim to get your payment. So just that, of course, being a con sometimes in the planning ways of like not knowing when that form of payment is going to come from the insurance company, but it likely is going to come, but just in planning and budgeting and saving wise, making sure you have enough disposable income to carry you over since you aren't getting that immediate income after your service. And then just really making sure like your systems are on point, because if they aren't on point and are off, you can sometimes lose money and not get paid, or kind of if your tracking system is off, then you just kind of can get super confused sometimes and then lose out on money, which that's no fun for anyone. And then just kind of the credentialing process in a whole is a con sometimes because it takes so long, and the regulations and everything is obviously continually changing and can be very different from insurance company to insurance company. So some of that bureaucratic stuff is a bit of a con, but it's a fantastic way to build your clientele. And a lot of people kind of maybe start out as all cash based and eventually add on an insurance company, or vice versa, start out, with a couple insurance companies and then eventually get off those panels and go to cash based. combination of all of them, whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong way. I think it's just really important to be intentional about the thought process before kind of just going to a biller and getting credentialed with all the insurance companies, or just being like, oh, my rate is this and I'm going to get all these clients. Because it just doesn't always work out like that. But there are ways to make it work, and there's lots of professionals who are all cash-based, all insurance-based, or a combination approach, and they make it work for them. So if you need any help trying to figure out how to make it work for you, or how to kind of divide up if you are doing that combination approach, your rates or different things like that, and the deciding processes, just let me know and I can help you out. Of course, if you have any questions or anything like that about anything, always let me know. Here to help in any way I can. But okay, well, see ya.